In the year 2025, mysterious tombs began appearing globally. A lone figure overlooks a landscape dominated by these massive, ancient structures under a full moon. The cloaked figure stands atop a rocky peak, observing the grand structures below as his garment billows in the night wind. Suddenly, armed soldiers spot the glowing, cloaked figure, shouting, "There he is! Catch him!" As they close in, the man retaliates with a powerful blue energy blast, engaging the pursuing soldiers and their vehicles in a fierce battle. On a motorcycle, the man races towards a tomb entrance, pursued closely by soldiers yelling, "Chase him! Don't let him get away!" Inside the tomb, the man quickly blocks the entrance with a massive rock, leaving the frustrated soldiers trapped outside, exclaiming, "Damn it!" The man, now revealed as Jinwoo, smiles cunningly inside the sealed tomb, wondering what kind of powerful relic he might discover. A title card appears, simply stating "The Majesty," hinting at the significance of Jinwoo's current location. Inside the tomb, Jinwoo senses a powerful energy, looking determinedly as dust settles around the sealed entrance. He stands confidently, with a smirk, proclaiming, "I'm looking forward to it," eager for the challenges ahead. The scene abruptly shifts to a bright day, showcasing a sleek, modern high-rise building in a bustling city. Inside, a large, empty conference room is set for a meeting, as a voice announces, "Now, for the next agenda item." Guardian Lee Seol-ah and Guardian Julian Miller discuss how someone shouldn't enter a tomb without research permission. Guardians Yu-jae-ha and Ilya Volkov chime in, suggesting the captain is merely checking the relics inside the tomb in advance. Yu-jae-ha tries to defend the captain, claiming he's just assessing danger, but Julian Miller looks confused by the explanation. Lee Seol-ah explodes in frustration, accusing the captain of looting relics and even naming a recent tomb, the Tomb Raider's Lounge. Jinwoo looks surprised by this revelation, as Julian Miller's small reaction bubble asks, "What?" Lee Seol-ah's urgent voice echoes, calling out, "Captain," as she seems to be addressing him directly. The captain, off-screen, expresses frustration that his team isn't answering their phones, asking if he needs to act like a hacker. Lee Seol-ah, Julian Miller, and Ilya Volkov explain they are in a summit, which the captain seems to have completely forgotten about. The captain looks exasperated as the call abruptly ends, shouting, "Don't hang up," and wondering what they were going to talk about. Jinwoo, smirking, muses about changing his self-proclaimed title from Tomb Raider King to the grander Tomb Raider Emperor. Back at the summit, Julian Miller reacts with alarm, demanding to know, "Where are you looting now?" as the call abruptly ends. Frustrated, Lee Seol-ah and the other Guardians decide to abandon the topic and move on to their next agenda item. Meanwhile, deep inside the tomb, Jinwoo declares he's reached the final room, pondering the original owner of this place. He then discovers a glowing, ornate dagger, exclaiming "OHH, Isis," as he examines the newly found relic. A system window appears, identifying the relic as the poisonous Fong of Isis, an SS-grade, God-grade consumable. Jinwoo smiles, acknowledging the appearance of a powerful item, but hints there might be a catch to this discovery. Jinwoo stands as a massive, shadowy form with glowing blue energy begins to manifest from below him, swirling into existence. The shadowy form reveals itself to be a powerful, winged female entity, identified as the SSS-grade Majesty's Crown Crow, who looks at Jinwoo. The tomb's vast scale is highlighted, as Jinwoo's thoughts reveal he expected an even higher-grade relic from such a grand place. Jinwoo, smirking, discusses his expectations for a sun god-level relic, prompting the Crown Crow to remark on his enduring greed. The Crown Crow, with sharp red eyes, suggests Jinwoo's desires have evolved beyond simple greed. Jinwoo smiles, holding the dagger, and explains his motivation for seeking powerful items is to pass down good things to his child. The scene suddenly shifts from the tomb to an exterior shot of the modern-day university hospital under clear skies. A doctor's hand points to an ultrasound image, highlighting the gestational sac. Seo Joo-hyun's wife, Irene Holton, looks surprised yet delighted, learning she is 5 weeks pregnant. Irene joyfully embraces Seo Joo-hyun in a tight hug, celebrating their wonderful news. Seo Joo-hyun smiles contentedly, holding Irene close and expressing his profound happiness. Irene, with a joyful smile, confirms her shared happiness with Seo Joo-hyun. Embracing Irene, Seo Joo-hyun playfully wonders if he can use relics to determine the baby's gender. Seo Joo-hyun holds up the ultrasound image, marveling at the incredible sight. Back in the office, Seo Joo-hyun, looking distracted, is told to focus by a colleague, who insists he should work while present. Seo Joo-hyun's colleague, overwhelmed by paperwork, scolds him for being so relaxed, demanding he deal with the massive backlog of work. A close-up reveals an immense stack of book relics that need classification, highlighting the work caused by the Majesty's tomb looting. Annoyed, Seo Joo-hyun reluctantly agrees to start processing the relics, warned by his colleague that he can't leave until they're all done. Seo Joo-hyun sorts through documents and relics, grumbling about his colleague Zhuge Liang's demanding nature, wondering if it's due to age. As he works, Seo Joo-hyun pauses, looking intrigued and surprised by a distinctively designed book relic he's examining. The mysterious book glows with an ominous red eye symbol and blue energy, emitting a powerful aura as a greeting appears. A young man finds himself surrounded by swirling, shadowy tendrils that erupt from the ground, signaling a powerful, ominous presence. A mysterious message appears on a black screen, simply stating, "It's nice to meet you, Heartsuit," as if from the entity. Seo Joo-hyun looks up at the glowing book relic, which now floats above him, engulfed in swirling red energy. A system message declares Seo Joo-hyun as the 187,487th Majesty, revealing his new, significant title. The relic informs Seo Joo-hyun he's qualified to participate in the Majesty War, leaving him utterly confused and exclaiming, "You're talking nonsense." The mysterious entity, represented by the glowing red eye on the book, refuses to answer questions, asserting, "I do not answer questions." Before participating, Seo Joo-hyun is presented with a stark choice: obedience, massacre, or neglect, setting a grave decision before him. The first choice is obedience. Register humanity as a resource for relics, bringing prosperity. Next is massacre. Grant erase authority to delete those disliked, building a utopia. The final option is neglect. Maintain the status quo, with humanity facing disasters alone. Seo Joo-hyun muses, that would be problematic, considering the choices presented. Seo Joo-hyun declares, "I have already proven my ability as the Majesty," deeming further fighting unnecessary. A glowing book relic with an eye symbol pulses ominously, emitting a powerful aura. A voice asks, "So you're withholding your..." As the relic's power intensifies, the mysterious book relic emits a powerful aura, and a voice asks, "So you're withholding your..." Seo Joo-hyun, annoyed, walks away from his colleague, who calls out, "What? Hey you." Seo Joo-hyun arrives at his luxurious home, named Valhalla Palace, under a starry night sky. Seo Joo-hyun sits cross-legged, facing a young child who approaches him with eager steps. The child beams with joy, reaching out and exclaiming, "Daddy." The child, Irene Holton's daughter, embraces Seo Joo-hyun, her eyes sparkling with happiness. Seo Joo-hyun, holding his daughter, wonders if he can use relics to determine the baby's gender. Seo Joo-hyun, smiling, asks, "Don't tell me." As his daughter approaches him, Seo Joo-hyun kneels, reaching out to his daughter, who looks up at him. His daughter happily exclaims, "Hee hee daddy," While holding his finger, the child's eyes widen in surprise as she looks at a glowing ring on his finger. The blinding light engulfs Seo Ju-hyun as a voice pleads, "Please remember." Seo Ju-hyun gasps, his eyes wide with shock and confusion. Seo Ju-hyun wakes up, breathing heavily, to find Irene sleeping beside him. At Dae University Hospital, a doctor asks Irene Holton if she'd like an ultrasound. The doctor notes it's not Irene's scheduled day, asking if something happened. Irene hesitates. The doctor says, "I see then." As Irene looks bewildered, muttering, "Huh?" Seo Ju-hyun reacts with shock, asking, "Wait, how can this be? And what's the matter?" Irene cries out in horror, "Teach the baby has disappeared." The doctor exclaims, "How could only the baby just vanish?" While Seo Ju-hyun states, "This makes no sense medically." A final panel shows a stark, white bubble with the words, "This is unheard of." Seo Ju-hyun looks shocked, his eyes wide, as a child's tearful face fills the panel. A dark panel shows a faint, distorted sound effect, kurukuru. A book relic with a glowing red eye and a devil's tail hovers ominously. A voice from the relic states, "I told you that you'd regret it, didn't I?" Seo Ju-hyun embraces Irene, who seems distressed. A text box states the child vanished. A close-up on Seo Ju-hyun's intense gaze, with another text box appearing. Seo Ju-hyun reflects, "It was a strange occurrence." Seo Ju-hyun summons the thread of Ilethia, a relic left by the goddess of childbirth and life. The relic clarifies it doesn't determine gender, but connects to the fetus to check its condition. Seo Ju-hyun wants to check on his child's condition, and the relic begins its search. The relic confirms the child is alive, but has moved elsewhere, a location even it cannot find. Stunned, Seo Ju-hyun demands the relic restore it, giving it 10 seconds. Seo Ju-hyun, intensely focused, repeats his demand for the child's restoration. Seo Ju-hyun's colleague, Zhuge Liang, is utterly bewildered by the strange situation. Seo Ju-hyun argues with his colleague, stating, "You talk too much even though we're in an emergency." The colleague yells, "You skip every single event to go raiding. And you suddenly add more work." Seo Ju-hyun questions, "Wait, how can an unborn kid be kidnapped?" Then demands, "Restore these." Seo Ju-hyun identifies the items as Morpheus's pillow and Onira Critica mini note. Seo Ju-hyun explains he checked Greek relics and will need to lie down to use these. Seo Ju-hyun asks, "How do I use it?" as his colleague prepares to interact with the pillow. The text explains Morpheus, the god of dreams, breathes dreams into sleeping people. Seo Ju-hyun examines Morpheus's pillow, explaining its function of replaying past dreams. He then introduces the Onira Critica note relic, used for interpreting these replayed dreams. The Onira Critica is revealed to be the oldest book on dream interpretation written by Artemidorus. Julian asks if he'll use the note, while Seo Ju-hyun confirms he'll use the pillow. Seo Ju-hyun triumphantly declares, "Restoration is finished," holding the Onira Critica. Seo Ju-hyun, Julian, and Irene prepare to use the relics, surrounded by blue energy. Seo Ju-hyun sits with his young daughter, holding her hand. A child's desperate plea, "Please remember me," echoes as blue energy swirls around them. Seo Ju-hyun's colleague is hit by a flying book relic, exclaiming, "URGH." Seo Ju-hyun yells, "ARGH. I just finished restoring it," as the pillow relic explodes. Irene Holton tries to comfort Seo Ju-hyun, saying, "I'm fine, so don't worry." Irene frets, "What am I supposed to do if something happens to you too?" Bandaged and determined, Seo Ju-hyun asks, "So how does it look?" Of his injuries. Seo Ju-hyun states, "This is the relic's doing," as a glowing book pulses with power. Seo Ju-hyun looks bewildered as he hears the relics predicted Irene's child shouldn't be born. He clutches his head, realizing the dream-reading relic's interpretation is the cause. A photo shows Seo Ju-hyun's family, with a glitchy image of their child, revealed as a strong dream. The child is seen running away into a bright, empty space, separated from her family. Seo Ju-hyun's glasses are broken, and a ruined relic lies nearby, unable to withstand the dream. His eyes narrow in a fierce stare as he exclaims, "SS grade." And a God-grade relic. Seo Ju-hyun's determined face stares back, contemplating the implications of the powerful relic. Seo Ju-hyun stands, shadows swirling around him, as a voice states, "You struggled so hard, and yet you didn't get any useful information, did you?" The glowing book relic hovers, a voice offering, "I would have just kindly told you if you had just asked me." As Seo Ju-hyun calls it a bastard. A stark red symbol appears, a voice declaring, "Bad things happened because you delayed your policy decision, didn't they?" 3 options are presented: obedience, neglect, and massacre, each detailing consequences for humanity and the majesty. A new option, negotiation, appears, offering Seo Ju-hyun the role of an executor managing relics across world lines. The relic introduces negotiation as a good option where you can coexist with relics and promote world prosperity. The glowing book states, "Since you seem to have trouble choosing, I'll give you one more new option." Seo Ju-hyun observes the options: obedience, massacre, neglect, and a new one, negotiation. He notes the balance is broken. He calls out the relic's attempt to lure him, questioning their plotting and calling them bastards. Seo Ju-hyun reacts with surprise, "Huh," as he's shown the options again. The relic suggests negotiation as a better option, hinting at its appeal. Seo Ju-hyun declares, "Massacre is perfect for me," due to his nasty temper. The relic agrees to give him the massacre buff, granting the ability to eliminate anyone. Seo Ju-hyun is asked who he wishes to eliminate first, with a recommendation list offered. Seo Ju-hyun reacts with shock, exclaiming, "What? That's not allowed," as the relic entity speaks of entities. The relic insists Seo Ju-hyun must choose targets from humanity, but he refuses, stating, "I'm not changing my mind." The glowing book relic, representing the majesty, unleashes energy, accusing Seo Ju-hyun of profanity for wanting to eliminate relics. Enraged, Seo Ju-hyun declares, "You relic bastards took my daughter," referring to his unborn child. The relic claims Seo Ju-hyun should have made a wiser choice, stating he's human and can't be reasoned with. The relic declares negotiations are broken off, stating they will consider his choice to be neglect. 2 figures, Julian and another man, stand looking concerned as dark shadows loom behind them. Seo Ju-hyun stands with a determined, angry look, stating, "Let's see you get through it without any help." Seo Ju-hyun, startled, yells, "Bastard," while his colleagues question why he suddenly swore and jumped up. Seo Ju-hyun dismisses their concern, saying it's nothing, while his colleagues press him if he's thinking about something else. Seo Ju-hyun, looking troubled, replies, "I don't know either." As Irene asks, "What's going on?" Seo Ju-hyun clutches his head, bewildered, asking, "What on earth is happening?" Seo Ju-hyun stands looking frustrated, as his colleagues are in motion around him. Guardian Chloe Lauren rushes forward, exclaiming, "Something terrible has happened." Seo Ju-hyun has a look of intense confusion and distress on his face. Golden energy erupts as citizens are overwhelmed by a strange phenomenon. Seo Ju-hyun sits with his young daughter, holding her hand gently. A title card declares the first anomaly, the sudden appearance of unclaimed relics. A colleague questions Seo Ju-hyun about a relic that mysteriously appeared in his pocket. A woman examines a small rock relic, wondering who could have placed it there. 2 men react with shock and urgency, ready to leave a situation quickly. The colleague yells, Ah, if you're done turning it in, let's get out of here quickly. People are frustrated, complaining about how many times this has happened and urging others to hurry up. A title card introduces the Guardian headquarters, a sleek, modern skyscraper under a starry night sky. Guardians examine a large collection of relics, marveling at how many have appeared without tombs. One Guardian explains that reporting relics to the Guardians is best, while others just use them. A phone screen shows a viral video of someone using a relic for gambling, with warnings of side effects. Two Guardians are concerned, stating that even with advanced technology, they can't identify these new relics. A Guardian questions the existence of an unknown relic, as information on all others is known. A teapot relic is scanned, but the system cannot verify it, stating it doesn't exist within the eye in the sky system. A colleague informs the captain that another anomaly has occurred, and events are shifting forward in time. A Guardian reports that presidents' deaths are surfacing, and they are verifying the validity of these claims. A Guardian casually states, "For the record, it says you will die on September 18th, surprising the captain. The captain reacts with shock and displeasure, exclaiming, "What? How unpleasant," about his predicted death. Guardian Chloe Lauron rushes in, exclaiming, "Something terrible has happened," as the captain looks bewildered. Golden energy erupts as citizens are overwhelmed by an anomaly, the sudden appearance of unclaimed relics. A power grid failure is announced, with emergency systems activating as a distressed Jinwoo asks, "What is this now?" Jinwoo walks down a hallway, seemingly unconcerned, as others react to the sudden blackout. Two characters react to the widespread blackout, with one exclaiming, "Whoa, this is serious." Jinwoo, looking intensely disturbed, questions, "Just what on earth is going on?" The scene shifts to the Colorado Plateau, revealing the power plant Core V Zeus. Bright yellow energy arcs and explodes over the power plant as it struck. A massive explosion of golden energy erupts, signifying a major event at the power plant. Chaos erupts as an employee shouts, "The Zeus relic is out of control," urging everyone to evacuate. A colossal figure, revealed as Zeus, the SS-grade chief god, appears, demanding to know where Majesty is. Zeus, radiating power, asks if the one who humiliated him is looking for him. Jinwoo, calm amidst the chaos, tells everyone to get out, then confronts Zeus. Zeus observes Jinwoo, noting he seems capable of causing trouble despite his condition. Jinwoo holds up a jar, smugly asking Zeus if he wants his belongings back. Jinwoo taunts Zeus, revealing he's taken something important, enjoying the god's reaction. Jinwoo reveals he's returning a relic from the chief god's body, calling it SS grade and God grade. Zeus roars, "Give it here, you bastard," as Jinwoo dodges a powerful energy blast. Jinwoo unleashes a powerful blue energy blast, clashing directly with Zeus's fiery attack. Jinwoo looks surprised, asking "HUH?" as Zeus charges forward with an enraged expression. Jinwoo is sent flying back after a powerful punch from Zeus, grunting "UGH." Jinwoo, struggling, declares, "My domination power isn't working." Why? Zeus states Jinwoo's escape makes no sense, questioning if this is the fourth anomaly. Zeus, enraged, taunts Jinwoo, calling him weaker and vowing to teach him a lesson. Jinwoo, with a smirk, tells Zeus he has many ways to break him. Jinwoo reveals he's been doing relic research in his spare time, then dodges a massive weapon. Zeus, surprised, exclaims "UGH" as Jinwoo's attack lands. Zeus is wrapped in white fabric and roses, looking confused and distressed. Zeus questions the situation, asking "WH what is this?" and why his power is sealed. Jinwoo identifies the relic as Hera's throne, a disciplinary tool belonging to the goddess. Jinwoo explains that binding efficiency becomes 1000% in cases of betrayal regarding marriage or family. Zeus, in distress, screams, "No. Stop! Can't you undo this?" questioning Jinwoo's actions in the myths. Jinwoo smirks, revealing he brought Zeus's other wife's relic, too, hinting at more trouble. Jinwoo holds up an SS-grade relic, Métis's wisdom that topples gods, a crown. The relic is identified as belonging to Métis, the goddess of wisdom and cunning, and Zeus's first wife. Zeus swallowed Métis whole due to a prophecy that her son would become stronger than him. Fortunately for Zeus, the child Métis bore was a daughter. Zeus recounts his headache and Hephaestus splitting his head open, from which Athena emerged, armed and ready. Jinwoo presents a relic, the Majesty's crown, noting its historical significance and potential terror. Jinwoo asks Zeus, "How about in this form?" and taunts him about being hit with the relic. A violent impact is shown as Jinwoo attacks Zeus with a powerful strike. Jinwoo tells Zeus to try giving birth to a son through his head this time. Jinwoo unleashes a massive blue energy blast, overwhelming Zeus in a spectacular clash. Zeus is shown struggling and groaning as Jinwoo's power overwhelms him. Jinwoo attacks Zeus with a powerful blow, taunting him, "It'd be a pity if it ended with just one hit." Jinwoo, smirking, holds a golden relic resembling a gauntlet, ready to continue the fight. Zeus is sent flying, encased in a blue energy shield, after Jinwoo's powerful strike. Jinwoo declares, "You should have just behaved and generated electricity. How dare you rebel?" Jinwoo instructs someone, "Now, go and restore that guy," while another character protests, "Did you really have to beat him to a pulp?" A character questions Jinwoo's methods. "You could have just put the Métis relic on his head. Why did you change it into a gauntlet?" The other character reacts with shocked silence to Jinwoo's actions. Jinwoo tells the defeated Zeus to stop talking back and just do the restoration. The other character complains about Jinwoo always beating up Zeus and taking his stuff. A cloaked figure observes, commenting that Jinwoo is quite merciless to the relic. Jinwoo replies that it has to be this way to be fun. Jinwoo states that it wouldn't be fun otherwise, with a determined expression. Despite Zeus's rebellion being suppressed, suspicious points remain about the power plant incident. A key question is raised. Why didn't the power plant's containment device work? Zeus questions why the seal was released, and if a relic could be responsible for such power. Before Zeus's questions are answered, another anomaly occurs, catching Jinwoo's attention. Jinwoo wonders how a screen turned on by itself, displaying death statistics. A guillotine stands ready as a masked figure prepares for executions. The count is 0. The Egyptian gods Set, Osiris, and Anubis are revealed as SS-grade relics. Jinwoo dismisses the Egyptian gods, asking about a bigger problem as a colleague rushes in. A video of bound figures plays on all devices, refusing to turn off. A colleague tells Jinwoo that every computer in Guardian headquarters is displaying the same thing on screen. The same video is playing on every screen, as if the entire world's machines have been hacked. People are clearly panicked by the widespread broadcast, and the situation is worsening. A masked figure appears, asking if it's time to judge those who have sinned. The Egyptian gods Set, Osiris, and Anubis are revealed as SS-grade relics, surrounded by fire. A death row inmate is brought to a guillotine, with a masked figure ready to carry out the execution. A video of bound figures plays on all devices, refusing to turn off, while people scream, "Kill him." A terrifying, masked figure declares, "Very well. Guilty," as the scene darkens. A bound and gagged person struggles against a large wooden beam, trying to escape. Jinwoo and a panicked colleague witness executions, with the colleague exclaiming, "They actually killed him." The masked figure announces the second death row inmate for feigning starvation. The masked figure asks if they agree with the death penalty for defiling distribution, while inmates murmur dissent. Jinwoo's colleague questions the severity of the punishment, but the masked figure insists on execution. A captain views a screen showing bloody executions, stating grimly, "It's not okay." One character suggests calling a mysterious number, while the other wonders what it could be. A finger presses the call button on a phone, initiating contact. Chaos erupts as one character is violently thrown back by a blast, landing near Jinwoo. Jinwoo quickly dodges an attack, narrowly avoiding his downed companion. A figure stands before a blood-splattered guillotine, ready to strike. One character exclaims in shock at strange, I like symbols appearing around them. Jinwoo's hand glows with blue energy as he grips a powerful weapon. The destruction continues as Jinwoo states, it ends as of this moment. A masked figure appears, announcing, BLO. An intruder, while a man declares, the next executioner has arrived. The Egyptian gods Set, Osiris, and Anubis are revealed, accused of mocking judges and placing themselves above gods. The masked figure declares the accused guilty, as Jinwoo counters, not so fast. Jinwoo's hand glows with blue energy, shattering a glass barrier with immense force. Jinwoo's attack connects, sending his opponent flying, while a purple aura surrounds another. The Egyptian gods react with shock and fury as Jinwoo's power overwhelms them. Jinwoo declares Osiris guilty, then blasts him, while another masked figure judges Set as guilty too. Jinwoo calls Anubis guilty and strikes him, while a green-skinned god questions if they can stand against gods. Shadowy figures with red eyes appear, with a masked man stating, no matter how much you struggle, the execution cannot be stopped. Jinwoo notices something strange, wondering if these figures are. A masked figure declares someone guilty, while Jinwoo prepares to fight with destructive intent. Jinwoo shatters a barrier with blue energy, overpowering the Egyptian gods Set, Osiris, and Anubis. Jinwoo declares, this ends now, as a masked figure announces the arrival of a new executioner. Jinwoo explains the poisonous fang of Isis can neutralize opponents uniquely. Isis, the goddess of magic and schemes, sent a snake to bite Ra. Isis offered to heal Ra if he revealed his true name, which held his existence. Ra's true name was eventually passed to Isis's son, Horus, strengthening his kingship. A creature questions Jinwoo, what do you plan to do with such a tiny knife? Jinwoo unleashes a powerful blue energy blast, clashing with the creature's attack. Jinwoo's attack overwhelms the creature, leaving it shocked as he prepares to strike again. Jinwoo readies a glowing sword, preparing to face the Egyptian gods with intense focus. Set, revealed as the abused one, roars in fury as Jinwoo confronts him. Jinwoo declares Set's true name won't work here, then strikes him with red energy. Set is struck with immense force, his body splitting as another god exclaims, this is crazy. Asar, king of the dead, is addressed, with the relic noting his name isn't secret. Anubis, ruler of the grave, cries out in pain as he's hit with powerful energy. Jinwoo prepares to strike again, calling Inpu, ruler of the grave, by his true name. Jinwoo strikes a monstrous figure, noting, it's quite a grand name, as the creature cries out in pain. Jinwoo faces another figure, surrounded by red energy, while the first creature groans on the ground. A character protests, Captain, I told you to go easy on them, as Jinwoo prepares to act. Jinwoo's companion complains about having to restore them again, looking annoyed. Two masked figures react with shock and fear, exclaiming. Jinwoo grabs a fallen figure, declaring, you, who put on my subordinate's face. A figure lies defeated, labeled guilty, with a chilling laugh echoing. The grotesque figures are revealed to be fakes, disappointing Jinwoo's expectations for powerful relics. A shadowy darkness envelopes a glowing light, and a surprised wow is heard. Jinwoo stands triumphant over the defeated fakes, his experience recognized. A surprised voice questions if another Uj-ha is inside, pointing to the shell. A sharp gaze rejects the idea, stating, It feels like it's not Jae-ha. The imposter Yu Jae-ha is confronted, accused of kidnapping and using fakes. The imposter reveals, "I'm not the Yu Jae-ha you know," setting up a new conflict. Jinwoo notices a ring on his hand, exclaiming, "That's..." Another man shouts at Jinwoo, asking, "When did you steal that again?" Jinwoo's intense gaze sharpens as he faces his accuser. The man with the ring declares, "You're not the only majesty around." Jinwoo stares intently, questioning the man. "You. Who exactly are you?" The man in glasses, looking smug, adjusts them as he sits. The man with the ring glares, while others look on in confusion and apprehension. Two men question if the seated figure is a doppelganger, noting he looks exactly like them. The seated man, with a different aura, dismisses their comparison as rude. The seated man reveals he's the majesty from another timeline, who was once at the world's pinnacle. One man asks the timeline traveler what he wants, asserting their captain is king here. The timeline traveler mocks their king, calling him incompetent for not knowing his world was falling. A man shouts in surprise, realizing the Egyptian relics are involved. A hand extends, stating, "You should be grateful, as the relics were secured before their seals broke." Jinwoo questions if the timeline traveler was responsible for releasing Zeus, sounding suspicious. The timeline traveler admits to preventing full unleashing, frustrated by Zeus's release. The traveler explains a runaway god-grade relic could destroy this world, like his own. He observes this timeline is well-developed, with many relics and humans. Jinwoo retorts, asking what the traveler means by the world falling apart. The traveler clarifies that god-grade relics are literally destroying worlds. Jinwoo has a hunch about who these destructive entities might be. Jinwoo is surrounded by a golden aura, holding a SSS-ranked treasure called Majesty's Cradle, Extinction. The timeline traveler reveals the cradle is the only one in all dimensions, previously unfound. The timeline traveler notes that while other worlds are ruined, the cradle seems peaceful. Jinwoo explains he was simply protecting the king, who passed his trial. The timeline traveler asks Jinwoo if he's heard of the relic creator, the first blacksmith. The blacksmith birthed human stories into relics, fighting against those seeking to reign over humanity. Many refused the order to become relics, shedding their bodies to become beings who reign over humanity. Jinwoo notes the rebellious gods are all god-grade, originating from major civilizations. Images show deities from 4 major civilizations: Egyptian, Mesopotamian, Hindu, and Japanese. Jinwoo wonders why powerful mythical relics haven't appeared, realizing they were busy rebelling. Jinwoo explains he checked new tombs because many god-grade relics were missing. A colleague questions if Jinwoo's tomb raiding was just a hobby, not a search. The timeline traveler explains the rebels move through dimensions, targeting every world. Their goal is the destruction of each timeline or complete domination of all worlds. Jinwoo's companions look concerned as he faces a mysterious figure. The timeline traveler confirms his world was destroyed, facing Jinwoo's questioning gaze. The group reacts with alarm as a powerful red energy cracks the environment. The timeline traveler's eyes glow ominously, referring to Jinwoo as a rat-like majesty. A figure, possibly another timeline traveler, appears with a sinister aura. A massive surge of red energy erupts, making a character exclaim, "Holy shit!" A black, swirling vortex with glowing red text appears, speaking directly to Jinwoo. The timeline traveler states, "So you fled to this timeline. It is useless to run." A dark, swirling vortex warns, "This place will also eventually be subject to purification." Jinwoo's companion exclaims, "Damn it! They followed me here," as they question if these are the relics. Jinwoo commands the Akashic record. Identify their locations, traits, and weaknesses, all of them. The Akashic record is identified as Majesty's Library, an SSS-ranked treasure, but it reveals they can't be found. The Akashic record states, "They do not exist anywhere in this world." A swirling red eye appears, indicating the threat is still present and unlocatable. The timeline traveler states beings not belonging to this world are useless and asks how they'll fight. A glowing book, the rule book, appears with a voice greeting the 187,487th Majesty again. The book initiates the first curse, with ominous red text filling the page. A colleague warns that the four civilizations use that book to destroy timelines. Jinwoo stares intently, his eyes wide with a mixture of shock and determination. Page_index 356. Narration. Jinwoo's companion asks, /what? What are you saying? Looking bewildered. Page_index 357. Narration. A glowing tarot card, the Tower, appears with a message that the world will return to silence. A screen declares the curse of the Tower of Babel language blockade has activated, severing all human communication. Jinwoo reacts with shock, exclaiming, "Worldwide!" as the curse takes effect. Chaos erupts as people flee from collapsing structures, unable to communicate their terror. Jinwoo, with his companions, acknowledges the widespread communication blackout as a massive disaster. Soldiers and surgeons are shown continuing their critical work, oblivious to the severed communication. The scene shifts to control towers, hinting at further catastrophic consequences for air traffic. A massive explosion engulfs an aircraft, illustrating the unfolding global catastrophes. Ilya shouts for Jinwoo to stop time, but Jinwoo is unconcerned about communication being blocked. Ilya, confused, mutters, "Oh, damn it," as the language blockade takes hold. A screen declares, "The language blockade has begun," with ominous purple effects. Jinwoo praises Crow, saying, "As expected, you're the best, as language is blocked but relics still work." Jinwoo summons Shakespeare's childhood pen, declaring he'll make them move even if words don't work. Ilya uses a relic to stop time for the world, except for his team members. Ilya's eyes glow blue as he unleashes his power, ready to act despite the communication blackout. Jinwoo confronts a giant, horned figure named Furcas, who is wreathed in blue energy. Furcas asks if Jinwoo wants to see a world where time doesn't flow, as a giant clock breaks apart. White, bird-like entities emerge from blue energy, their forms ethereal and powerful. A man screams in terror as the energy and debris swirl around him. More ethereal birds soar through the sky, with shadowy figures in the distance. Inside a vehicle, a man and a terrified woman are jolted as liquid spills. Jinwoo holds a glowing relic, a book, and calmly states, "It stopped." A brilliant white, bird-like relic unleashes blue energy, impacting the environment with immense force. A man's face contorts in terror as he's caught in a powerful energy blast. A mysterious, ornate book relic hovers over a cityscape in ruins, radiating power. Ilya states, "For now, everyone except US has stopped," as Jinwoo watches. A character exclaims, "Amazing," observing how the disaster was halted. Jinwoo, holding a book, asserts, "There's no way I'd be affected by a mere relic, right?" A glowing book declares, "But you won't be able to stop what's next." A cursed book appears, announcing the curse of Vishvakarman, and the blockade of tools begins. A massive blue tower crumbles, surrounded by debris and a dark sky. Confused figures question if it's a blue tower, while another reacts with indecipherable speech. Jinwoo looks confused and surprised by something happening. A hand holds a cracked smartphone, displaying an unreadable message. What is this? People react with shock and anger to broken technology, shouting incomprehensible words. Jinwoo is shocked as Crow, a winged entity, asks him, "Crow, what is this?" A book explains how language and tools created the difference between humans and beasts evolving. The curse of Vishvakarman is activated, neutralizing all man-made tools, technology, and even relics. Vishvakarman, the Indian god of craftsmanship, is shown, credited with creating all divine tools. A woman cries out. It seems all the tools are being destroyed as the curse takes effect. Soldiers note this curse is worse, warning that human civilization will collapse when time resumes. A surgeon holds a broken scalpel, confirming the severity of the tool blockade. Jinwoo wonders if this curse will affect relics, looking seriously at the unfolding disaster. Someone asks why even relics are being sealed, and Jinwoo explains it's because they're considered tools. Jinwoo, annoyed, questions who someone is trying to scam as he prepares to write. Jinwoo begins writing with a glowing pen, seemingly channeling energy into the act. Jinwoo continues writing with intense focus, declaring, "Remember how you all came into existence." Someone states, "Writing is an axe that reproduces thoughts, and stories are awls that pierce through time." Another voice adds, "And records are blades that never die." Jinwoo declares, "Relics made of language, memory, and story shall escape this curse." Jinwoo questions if the curse is meant to neutralize relics too, but dismisses the idea confidently. A book relic with a glowing red eye grumbles, agreeing to make an exception for relics. Jinwoo smiles, preparing to write, saying he'll make relics immune to the curse. His colleagues are shocked and angry, yelling incoherently as Jinwoo begins writing. Jinwoo's writing creates energy, and a colleague holds up new earrings. The new relic, Solomon's earrings, allows communication despite the curse. Jinwoo's colleague confirms, "It worked. We can communicate," relieved by the breakthrough. Jinwoo encourages Ilya to use his relic, stating, "Good, Ilya. Burn it up." Ilya responds, "Yes, sir." Ilya summons Phlegathon, the ruler of flames, commanding it to come forth, ruler of flames. Phlegathon unleashes a torrent of fire, roaring, "Rise from the forge of hell and burn everything to ashes." A book relic coughs, amazed that Jinwoo avoided the second curse, while Jinwoo looks surprised. Jinwoo notes that a mere fire attack barely damaged the book relic, realizing Ilya's demon relic is almost god-grade. A character warns Jinwoo, "Let's see if you can evade the remaining two as well." Another asks, "There are two more?" A massive book opens, declaring, "I will cast a total of 4 curses upon this world." A menacing red eye appears, stating, "If you stop them all, this world line will not collapse." Jinwoo looks shocked, realizing the true danger, the collapse of the world line. A massive golden tower erupts as the Curse of the Nile activates, starting the blockade of records. Debris falls onto a street, with a voice noting, "Earlier, this happened." A relic displays the text, "Crossing the cosmos," its significance unclear. A man clutches a phone, asking, "Will you still be able to use relics?" as history warps. The Curse of the Nile activates, erasing records and memories of relic creation, making them unusable. A shocked man clutches his head, muttering "huh" and as someone else looms over him. The man asks, "What was my name again?" While another wonders, "What is this?" and a third asks, "Are people's minds getting completely raided too?" One man says, "Ugh, I can't watch this," while another asks, "What?" as the first one seems to be examining something with a tool. Jinwoo asks, "Now, only the majesties remember how to use relics," as the other man explains, "because a majesty is a being that remembers." A book relic appears surrounded by fire, with text stating, "The gods of the 4 great civilizations used that book, the rule book, to destroy world lines." The timeline traveler states, "The worlds I knew were also ruined in this order," adding, "Humans all became fools and eventually self-destructed." A glowing red eye on a book states, "As expected, their design for human extinction is perfect heartsuit." Jinwoo muses, "So that's how it was," with a knowing smirk. The first curse, the curse of the Tower of Babel, is revealed, linked to Mesopotamian mythology. The second curse, the curse of Vishvakarman, is introduced, tied to Indian mythology. Jinwoo declares, and the name of this curse is the curse of the Nile, as blue energy flares. Jinwoo ponders if it might be the sun god Ra, preparing for a confrontation. Jinwoo believes Isis's relic will be effective against Ra, as he prepares to fight. A relic declares, that's cheating, as a red, eye-like symbol appears. Jinwoo shouts, cheating my ass, as he unleashes a powerful energy attack, dodging an incoming strike. As Jinwoo unleashes more blue energy, a voice asks, what are you doing? And he retorts, what do you think I'm doing, you bastard? Jinwoo launches a devastating attack, causing an explosion and eliciting a desperate "no" from someone. A massive structure crumbles under an intense barrage of red energy and strange symbols. A screen declares, the curse of the Nile, is neutralized. Ra's power is scattered. Jinwoo is seen dodging attacks amidst glowing runes, while his companions look on with concern. A bookshelf displays titles like Mythology and What is Dogul, surrounded by glowing symbols. Mysterious glowing letters fill the sky above damaged city buildings as the world seems to be breaking apart. A young man excitedly exclaims, write this. This was how you use it. I remember now. Two young men argue, one yelling, shut up, while a third figure walks away, seemingly unfazed. A man in a suit and trench coat stands on a rooftop, looking out at the chaotic, letter-filled sky. A close-up on glasses reflects a distorted image, with a voice whispering, Co Ju-hyun. Jinwoo stands amidst glowing runes, holding a weapon, and declares, you really are incredible.